when most people think about martial arts, they don't think about Africa. So here today, Graham the Grey, we're going to talk a little bit about some South African and Southern Mid-African martial arts style that came about during the early 1800s, mostly based on Shaka Zulu and his contribution to basically changing the whole warfare in Africa. If those who don't know, really quick synopsis, he basically changed it from being long distance, throwing spears, kind of dancing it out, nobody would really fight too close, to this kind of thing where you get really close and actually engage and kill the enemy quite brutally. He also designed a thing called the bull. So there's the head of the bull and then the horns who wrap around and then the body that crush through. Quite a tactical genius, but like all people in history, there's dark and there's good. So, you know, let's not romanticize anyone too much. As a child, he was a childhood hero. So, like many of my heroes, you learn a little bit more. And it's like, okay, there's a dark side to all things. But let's get back into it. So one of the main things that he really changed was instead of the long throwing spears, he would move in with tighter groups, kind of similar to like how the Romans would form up, but you know, a little bit different. Now his shields would be cowhide, and they'd usually have a pole running through the center. Sometimes he'd also be carrying like a knob carry, which is basically a bludgeon, a stick root. And the bottom would be sharpened. Now this is important because you could get the legs of the opponent, and also you can jab it into the ground. This would deflect most spears of that kind. The top stick also is fantastic for deflecting spears. Now his main style was you come in, you hit with the shield, and you lift up and come through. This has been pronounced a lot of different ways, so I'm just going to call it the Zulu War Spear. And it's actually an unbelievably phenomenal weapon. The design is just kind of flawless. As a kid, this was this imaginary weapon that I always kind of wanted to make. Basically, you're taking a Greek short sword and putting it on a 2.5 foot pole that can be easily taken off and put back on, and then the blade itself can just be used. And the design of it too, as you can see, that just goes right up into the heart. So it's basically almost like instant kills. And you can, of course, throw it really, really well. You could chop with it quite easily. Now, even the shield itself, that's a really good weapon. And let's talk a little bit about their knob carries or walking sticks. These things are also quite great. It's kind of similar to the Irish shillelagh. Basically, you have a really, really, really thick wood, and these would be used in similar ways. And one of my favorite things about this kind of stick fighting is that I noticed it was very similar to English cane fighting and even English broadsword. So for example, a lot of times people think, you know, with the stick, even with two hands, if I want to get the other side, you kind of have to sweep over. But people forget that you can just really quickly just move the hands, not even the whole body, the whole body. You can get the whole body in, but there's a lot of bouncing back off whatever they hit that you don't really see in a lot of Western martial arts, except for a few. There's always an exception. So hopefully you enjoyed this and learned a little bit about some good African martial arts. And if you have any questions, leave a comment, and just know that I appreciate all of you.